the one stirring up the conflict. They try to make it out like I'm conflicted. East Coast, the 6-4's hitting switch. It's not a conflict of interest.
With the business, West Coast rocking them Timberlands deep up in.
Well, we've had spotty showers since about 7 a.m. here in D.C., and the radar indicates it's going to continue, but nothing to stop football from happening at FedEx Field. Today, we've got a Week 8 matchup on tap here between the Detroit Lions and the Washington Commanders. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Here we go, here we go. Set, go! Black shot! Set!
They'll start on the ground. Hall. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Right away, they rack up 10 yards on their first play from scrimmage. This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Khalil Mack, make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. A few issues here on the offensive line. Apparently, he got sacked 5 times last week. They got to him here in the first quarter.
And I would think that running the ball would be paramount here because it's a different team they're facing, but they watch the film as well, so they'll take many of those same principles.
And he's going to go down again. Matt Ioannidis bullying his way in and sticking him to the turf. They'll make that a second sack here on their first drive out defensively, and not to get ahead of ourselves, but they're on pace for double-digit sacks at this point.
Well, they're going to have to find a way to tamp that down, aren't they? So if you're the play caller, you're telling your quarterback maybe some screens, maybe some draws, hard count, use your voice inflection a little bit, anything to try and slow that pressure down. How about this defense? They came up with a couple of big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. Well, that'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Lions will take over. Carry now for Kareem Hunt. And not a whole lot there, maybe a yard to the 27. Well, this Washington defense, Charles, terrific in the victory a week ago.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number, 6. Absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. On play action, they'll throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Benjamin St-Juste. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Hey, it's not the most spectacular play, but I think most teams will take that every single time for the first play of a drive. Begin the series with positive yardage and set yourself up for a very manageable 2nd down.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. All again on 2nd down. And he'll take this one down to the 36.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And that is incomplete.
You absolutely have to have this early on, right? 3rd and short, they elect to throw for it. And that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on 3rd and short, but you got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. And he missed it. It's no good, and this will remain a scoreless game.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, maybe perhaps a bit more of a focus on the run game for this drive after tossing an interception on the previous one?
I think that's a good way to look at it and a good way to think about it, but maybe they get to it in a little bit different way, because after you throw an interception, you want to make sure you keep your quarterback's confidence high. So maybe give him a couple easy throws that he can complete and then get to the running game and try and get things settled down.
Yeah, and still in the first half here, a long way to go. First connection there of the afternoon for those two, and it's good for a first down. First carry for DeAndre Swift. And a short gain down to about the 33. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play.
Trying to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. And the Commanders are going to have it here just past the 25.
Well, it doesn't take a whole lot of investigation to figure out why they're still sitting at 0 on the scoreboard, because their quarterback's got to wake up and start reading defense a heck of a lot better after throwing his 2nd interception.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. We sort of suspected that the elements might wreak havoc on both of these offenses, and that's been the case. No points on either side as this drive begins with a first down. And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Washington. Charles, every time that he makes one of these plays, I think the front office, they get a bigger and bigger collective smile because they feel more confident that they have found their guy, their future at quarterback.
And they should feel that way. It's obvious he's a big part of why they have such a good record this season. You're right about the bright future as well, and by association, a bright future for the franchise too.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28th. Again, they'll run it with Mostert. And he was able to shed 1 tackle but could not get away from there.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you. Looks like a nickel set here defensively on 3rd and 2.
Yeah, maybe expecting a throw. They'll try and run here with Swift. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter.
And the Commanders are going to take possession of the football.
Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you...
Touchdown, Washington.
Noah Fant, his 3rd touchdown now on the year.
And the Commanders are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. And it's a fumble. And this is going to get out of bounds, so they will gain a bit of yardage on the play, actually, and they'll hold on to the football as well. Offensively, they're just not playing a very clean football game right now. This deficit, there's a fumble. Good news for them, at least. That went out of bounds.
You're exactly right, and as they breathe a sigh of relief.
The fumble on 1st down now. Here's 2nd down. They run out of the gun with Swift.
This time able to hold on to the football, but not much room to run.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
He'll look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
And the Commanders are going to take possession of the football. Well, we heard all week that they were going to put the football in the air a lot. The problem is that is now 4 interceptions, Charles, that he has thrown in this first half. How do you treat a situation? What do you say to your quarterback right now?
Boy, that's an interesting question because a lot of it depends on the head coach and the people making the decisions. You have to know your quarterback and know if he's mentally tough enough to have a chance to turn it around. Or is he a guy that maybe you've seen enough and it's time to go to the backup? But right now what you're rooting for is your defense to help keep you in the game, to give him an opportunity to get back on track.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Good defensive call right there because they had someone shadowing him along his entire route. And he was right there ready to provide a hit that prevents him from making another catch to his big start.
On the ready.
Got to get to the 26 for a first. This is 3rd down. They'll drop to throw. And he bats Hits it away, and it falls down incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
The kick by Bass is good,
and that will extend their lead even further.
So they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness. Maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
And he's going to get this all the way down to Washington's 23-yard line. 65 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today. Well, they've had success on the ground on this drive, and that makes the defense more likely to overcommit to stop the run as they did on that play. But keep in mind, it makes them susceptible to play-action passes as well.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
And able to find Gesicki as tight end.
And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And this is an offense in need of getting a few good things to happen. Here's one right here. They've had their share of struggles in key moments, but that's a nice throw and nice work after the throw. And they're set up now with a 1st and goal.
And he'll get this down inside the 5 to the 4 before he's out of bounds. That gets him 3 yards closer here as it brings up 2nd and goal.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
Raheem Mostert, his 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Lions are able to make some inroads here to that deficit.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that'll cut the lead to 17-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
On 1st down, right back to Hall.
And some room to maneuver. Touchdown, Washington.
That's a pretty quick response to that last touchdown drive, and it seemed like they may be giving up momentum. Not so fast.
No, not at all, because they end up pushing the lead up once again, and you're exactly right. Thought momentum might have been shifting. Instead, they grabbed old Mo, didn't let him get to the opposite sideline.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Right now, Charles, it just feels like they're trying to keep pace. They did score the touchdown last time out, but they still trail by double digits here. We'll see if this offense is once again up to the task.
Yeah, and I think that after the last drive, they've got to be pretty revved up, don't you think? Everything they were doing was working pretty well. They go back out there with the same mindset, play at the same tempo and the same pace. Still a lot of time left to make something happen in this one.
19 Tiger, 19 Tiger, 19 right.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Throw right side, complete to Williams. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. On the counter, Hunt. And he carries this one past the midfield stripe and into Commander territory. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
They go back to the ground, this time Mostert.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 3rd and 5.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. On 3rd down, here comes Swift.
And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much, as he's down to the 48.
And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts,
as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Let's go now.
He'll drop to throw. That's to his running back, complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That's a 4th down pickup of 10 yards, and an opportunity certainly missed on the defensive side. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earn a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10.
Back to the running game with Swift.
Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or 2 because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw.
And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. Montez Sweat coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th. Here's Jack Fox now. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20.
Here we go.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room. He's got a man complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That one good for 37 yards.
I think this defense was still trying to recover from that last play, so you wonder if they were ready for this one. You have to imagine their defensive coaches are yelling at them to get focused, because if they don't, more plays like that will result in giving up points.
Ready.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Wait. Set.
He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
Perfect example of the kind of attitude you have to play defensive back in the NFL. You want to be the only defender around, and you want them to challenge you. And on that play, he came through.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw.
To the sideline, he's got the catch, and he kept the feet in bounds. Well done.
A gain of 22.
Well, things are definitely going right for them here in the first half. Pick it down, any down, even 3rd down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw.
He's got it. Touchdown, Commanders. Noah Fant in the final seconds of the first half. And the Commanders are able to widen their lead here in this first half. Extra point by Bass, up and good.
And the route is on here in this first half.
Maybe time for one play on offense. 7 seconds to go in the half as the kick is away.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
And with 7 seconds remaining, not much time to really do anything.
A pretty big opening there on first down. 8 yards up to the 33.
So we've reached halftime here in our nation's capital with the Commanders on top.
As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half.
Let's go.
Third quarter starts with a run from Mostert.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
You got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And he's got his tight end. It's Mike Gesicki. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A very solid gain of 27.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver.
And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. That pass caught. It's Williams. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 34-yard line. A solid gain of 15 yards and the sticks move. Back to throw again. And that's out to the flat for Swift. And they'll work this down inside the 30. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. They'll run again with 1. And he'll get this down only to the 18. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
They give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already. And it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
They'll look to throw. And in for the Lions touchdown. Mike Gesicki. An 18-yard touchdown grab. And the Lions are able to cut into this lead as they score on the opening drive of the second half. Badgley on for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll make our score 31-14 now. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And they were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
You can say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the sidelines and watch that drive. So you can bet that they're saying, let's get on with this. We got to go out there and get some more points.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Straight ahead is Hall. And he'll scratch out a yard up to the 30, and that's all. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
Black Ultra.
They'll set up a throw. He's got his tight end Fant. And some space here. Touchdown, Washington. Noah Fant, his 3rd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. As his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. Here's Bass now for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Not the start to the drive they were looking for. That run doesn't do much at all.
No, not at all. They lose them with 3rd and long, and you know this is the time of game where these drives really, really start to matter. They've got to make some moves.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. That catch puts him over 70 yards receiving now as he's got a first down.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds it for the first down.
And he's got some space here. And he's going to be out of bounds here all the way down inside the 10. A big play there for Detroit. 55 yards. Well, for a play that didn't look like much at the snap, that jet sweep turned into a big play in a hurry.
And how about how they ran the play? Because they obviously caught the defense out of position and not expecting that one, and that turned into a nice chunk of yardage. But how about the execution? On the handoff, most of the times we see on the jet sweep, they punch it forward so that if it falls to the ground, it's just an incomplete pass. Here, you got to execute it well, otherwise it's a fumble.
One more time with Mostert. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
Give him a couple on the run there, and now they're in that in-between area here on 4th and goal. Badgley able to knock this one through, and they get a little bit closer here as the lead's down to 3 touchdowns. So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps them inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
We'll see a return here from the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
For most people, the excitement of a kickoff return is to see a long one that goes back in the opposite direction. But for the guys covering it, it's being able to stop them deep in their own territory. How about that incredible form tackle right there? Shoulder in the ball carrier, and down he goes.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Tackle made that time by Aleem McNeil. We have played 3 quarters.
Okay, right.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Hall again on 2nd down. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Now 3rd down is looming. A pickup of 2 on 1st down and just 1 yard there. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Now a deep ball going to be caught here near midfield. And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
There's no doubt in my mind that not many guys in this league have had the impact that he's had here in the first half of the season. He's been a big play guy from the word go and continues to be one with another one right there.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Hall on a give up the middle. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Hall again on 2nd down. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
They'll go with a touch pass here, trying to pick it up. So Tyler Bass on now for the field goal. From the right hash, this from 53. And that one will be no good. He never had it on line. It's well wide to the left, and the lead will hold at 3 touchdowns. Well, they can probably live with that with this late lead in the 4th quarter. That's one of the few things that's gone wrong.
You're exactly right. This one was well in hand. That kick there was more for cosmetics, you know, to add to their score. Not getting it, that shouldn't harm them at all.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about it. And my goodness, another interception. Shaquill Griffin with a pick. And the Commanders will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 128 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point in the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Here we go.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Ready.
Got this complete to Jahan Dotson. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another 1st down. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving. So Tyler Bass on now for the field goal. This one from 48 yards away. The kick by Bass is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. We said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
2nd down. Here's Mostert again. And some room to work. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 31 yards there and a 1st down.
Well, partner, I have to say they caught him in the right defense there. Nickel set, 5th defensive back on the field. And they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there.
Ready.
2nd and 4. Getting this out to the flat, Mostert.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 11 yards there and a Lion first down.
A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
Second down, here's Mostert again.
And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7.
137 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
He's done his part sailing past the century mark on the ground with rushing yardage, but his team, a different story.
Yeah, they're down big in this ball game, so sometimes you wonder to yourself how much of that is him with a great performance and how much of that is the defense just loosening up because they have a big lead.
Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on first down, holding them to a short gain.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone, trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
They'll try to run with Hunt, and he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown.
Kareem Hunt
taking it in from 2 yards out.
And the Lions get a bit closer.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that'll cut this to a 17-point spread. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
I'll tell you, far from ideal conditions to play in, but neither offense has had much trouble. Plenty of points to go around. 1st and 10.
Set, ready.
Well, everybody was up there ready at the line of scrimmage, CD, but no snap, and the delay of game ensued.
Yeah, and I'm sure their head coach is asking the exact same thing. What's going on out there? Almost like they thought they had more time than actually was on the clock.
Come on, set. Ready, ready.
And they'll indeed take a knee.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but, boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And, partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest. The kind of performance